In this episode of the Motor City Hypnotist podcast, we're going to talk about oppositional defiant disorder. It's commonly known as ODD. If you've not heard of it, we're going to talk about it. We'll get into it, talk about the symptoms, kind of who's affected by it, and what you can do if you or your loved ones or somebody you know has ODD. And as usual, we're giving away free stuff. Hang in there, folks. We'll be right back.
This sounds like something for the authorities in Detroit.
Well, joke's on you. I'm living to 102 and then dying, like the city of Detroit.
Guys like this antique over here out of Detroit.
Spawned in the hellfires of Motown.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
Stationed in Drambuie. It's worse than Detroit.
We did not have, as a unit, the confidence that we felt like we needed to beat Detroit.
Let's go to Detroit. Now you're talking, brother.
I don't think so. He plays for Detroit now.
Do they have many farms in Detroit?
Detroit. It's in Michigan.
I go to school. I know where Detroit is.
Get ready for the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright, originating from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. He has hypnotized thousands of people from all over the United States. David R. Wright has been featured on news outlets all across the country and is the clinical director of an outpatient mental health and hypnosis clinic located just south of Detroit, where he helps people daily using the power of hypnosis. Welcome, the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright.
What is going on, my friends? It is David Wright, the Motor City Hypnotist, and we are back with another episode of the Motor City Hypnotist podcast.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are.
You could sit a little bit further back from that microphone.
Okay, little.
Yeah,
little
there
hot.
you go,
Sorry.
brother.
Well,
Yeah.
so the boom mic is out, so we're using a tabletop, which is a little bit different. So I'm just trying to get my distances set. You know,
that's what I'm here for.
I'm usually right on that boom mic. But okay.
No, you sound brilliant.
Perfect. That is Matt Fox, the other voice you hear. We're here hanging out in the palatial Podcast Your Voice Southfield Studios.
Thank you.
On a Monday evening, doing a podcast, having a drink. We just had Mike from
Blake's Hard
Cider, and he brought us a bunch of treats, which were all fantastic.
So you had initially said, I'm not the biggest cider guy.
I'm not.
And everything that we had tonight, you said, and I quote, I loved all of them.
I did. I loved all of them.
They do such a great job. And
I think and this is no slam or disrespect. I think the only cider I've ever had was like an Angry Orchard, and it's just like,
that's your first problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I just kind of in my head I thought that's what cider.
Blake's Hard Cider, Michigan.
Blake's Hard Cider, Michigan made.
Yep.
And he brought 6 different products, 6 different flavors, and we tried them all.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic.
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Yeah, so get your Blake cider at your local Kroger, Meyer,
A&B Liquor,
yep.
Yeah,
all your party stores as well.
Yeah, Total Wine. That just go onto their website, blakeshardcider.com. Type in your zip code, and they will tell you where they're located at and what you can find at each one of those stores.
Absolutely, and they were all great. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, so good stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So let me tell you first where you can find me, folks. My website is motorcityhypnotist.com. We are right on the verge of beginning grad season. This Saturday night, I'm in Grand Blanc for Grand Blanc High School's grad night. So shout out to Grand Blanc. I've been doing their show for 8 years, maybe.
Nice.
It's been a long time. I go there every year. So yeah, shout out to them. But that grad season starts Saturday. So if by chance you are still in need of entertainment for your grad night, because your grad night can be anywhere from now until the middle of June. So there are open dates. I think I have 20 shows scheduled in 30 days. So there are a couple of nights that are free. And here's the whole thing too. If it's a night that I have a show, we can work it so that I have a couple of double headers this season, and I have 1 triple header. So even if the night might be taken, we can fit you in at a time that's good for you. So you can get a quote within minutes. You can book your show within minutes at motorcityhypnotist.com/shows. My social media, Facebook and YouTube, are both Motor City Hypnotist. Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok are all Motor City Hypno. That is HYPNO.
Yes, please.
And as usual, as we've done all the way back to episode number 1, text the to 313-800-8510. Within moments, you'll get a text message with a downloadable PDF. It's a hypnosis guide that I've written. It's a couple pages that's yours to have for free. And you'll also get a link to my Google business page where you can leave a review there, a review of the podcast, a review of a show, or a review of any sessions that you may have had with me in person.
Damn.
Fantastic. And I would appreciate that. Whatever platform you're listening on, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever it is, join, connect, link, whatever you do to get the show when it drops, and also leave a review on the podcast platform. That helps tremendously to get people to the podcast.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. Oh, that's all our business stuff, Matt. Let's talk about a winner.
Okay. Here we go.
That's how winning is done.
Seriously, look at the color on this.
Yeah,
Imperial
it's
strawberry
Imperial blush.
Yeah,
it is. That is. I really like that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm. Who's our winner?
So this comes from Seattle.
Okay.
A Seattle man homeless for 7 years is getting a fresh start after he found and returned the priceless memorial relics of a deceased family dog.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just that first sentence is like, wait a
Deceased
minute.
family-
Whoa.
Deceased family relics of a family dog.
Yes. The priceless memorial relics of a deceased fammy dog.
Isn't that? Did I say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
sure.
I'm just making it clear.
Making sure the cider's not talking. Yeah.
When Holly and Brandon Dunn's car was broken into in Seattle's University District, the thief made off with the most irreplaceable items they owned: the ashes, ceramic paw, prints, and a memorial stuffed animal of their late Chihuahua Tia.
What an asshole. Why would you
Yes,
steal
why would
that?
you steal that? Well, here's an answer, Matt.
Okay.
Thieves rarely look at anything they take. With time being squarely of the essence, they just grab everything that's not bolted down and they go through it later.
Asshole.
This was exactly what happened with Holly and Brandon's car, as the thief would later deposit the, to him, worthless remembrances in a bag in a dumpster. So not only did this dummy steal from their car, he dumped the stuff he didn't want, which he could see our pet's remains with the paw print and the urn and the you know what that is.
And his fingerprints are all over him.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
A homeless man named Chris came across the bag and, knowing it mattered to someone, held onto it until he spotted a flyer which the Dunns had put up in the neighborhood. He didn't hesitate to reach out and didn't ask for anything in return. Now, as Chris moves into his very first apartment after 7 years on the streets, hundreds are rewarding him for his good deed through a GoFundMe organized by Catherine Mitchie, who helped post flyers in the search for Tia's remains.
How much has been raised on this GoFundMe?
It has so far raised more than $5,600 toward his rent, furniture, and care for Rio, a dog rescued from the street as well.
That Chris rescued.
See, I don't know that.
See, because
that one I'm not clear on. So
and it's really sad. There's a lot of times you'll see someone who is living on the streets and they will have a pet, a dog with them.
I've seen that before,
and they will feed that animal first before they feed themselves.
Right,
and that in itself is just heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. But I really hope that the two of that Chris and this dog are part of that GoFundMe.
Yep. I just got off the phone with Chris, and he's absolutely floored with the support from this community, Mitchie wrote in a May 6th update. Thank you to everyone who is changing his life for the better. He is such an angel and deserves all the help. There are still $1,000 left before the fundraiser reaches its $7,000 goal.
I love that.
Donations can be made on GoFundMe, on the GoFundMe page. I'll put a link in the story.
And right to their GoFundMe.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good.
So yeah, that's the story. So a homeless guy's dumpster diving to get stuff he wants or needs, finds these pet remains and these items, and immediately does the right thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to the thief who broke into the car and took them in the first place.
Right.
So in this instance, somebody who's been homeless for 7 years is a better human being than this other idiot.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that in and of itself is just amazing.
Chris is a winner.
Chris is definitely winner of the week.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
That's how winning is done.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, back to it.
So when you said ODD, I'm like,
Yes.
well, that's odd.
Yes, ODD. We're going to get into it. And just as a heads up, if any of you are watching on Facebook Live, you'll notice my hands are wrapped like Del from the Green Mile.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm going to say it again. When you told me that this episode was about ODD, and I said, that's odd.
Yes. It's odd, but it's not, but it's oppositional.
ODD
I know. I get it. I know what you're saying. I get
I'm
it.
sorry.
No, you're good.
The cider. It's the cider. No. And I did ask you. I did ask you, like, okay, so give me an example of what oppositional. Go ahead.
ODD, oppositional defiant disorder.
Yes, and I asked you to give me an example, and you gave me an example, and that was
okay. So I'm going to get into what the misunderstandings are, and then we're going to get into the specifics.
Okay.
ODD in general is often misunderstood or not diagnosed, and that's part of the problem with it. Many people assume that it's a person that's just being defiant or difficult just because they're assholes, for lack of a better term. They're just intentionally being difficult. But the reality, if somebody's suffering with ODD, is very different than that. These behaviors are not intentional. They're not planned. It's not this motive that's deep inside just to be a difficult human being. So we're going to talk about what oppositional defiant disorder is and who it affects the most, because there are certain populations that are more prone to this.
Sure.
And then we're also going to discuss how families can support someone who might have an ODD diagnosis.
Okay. So when you say ODD, I lean toward, the disrespect or lack of disrespect for authority.
Right.
And that's where my brain went. Being a military brat, I had stricter rules in my household. And did I want to rebel?
Sure.
Of course I did. But did I understand the rules? Yeah. Did I pay attention to them? 98% of the time.
Sure.
No one's perfect. But what would lead someone down to this path of being diagnosed with ODD?
So let me tell you what exactly it is.
Okay.
It's a disorder. It's a behavioral and emotional disorder, most commonly diagnosed during childhood or adolescence. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, ODD involves a persistent pattern of 1, angry or irritable mood.
That's every teenager
2,
that wakes up at 6 a.m. to go
argumentative or defiant behavior. 3, vindictiveness. These behaviors must occur for at least 6 months and be more severe than what would be normally expected for a child's development. Now, I know that's a vague statement.
It is.
But let me get into more specific symptoms that fit into the 3 I just said.
Okay.
Temper tantrums, constant arguing, refusing to follow rules, deliberately annoying other people, blaming others for their own mistakes, being easily annoyed, acting spiteful or vindictive.
And what population is this? All populations at this point?
Yep. We're going to get there.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right.
So here's the thing. And Matt, you kind of alluded to it. Every child has arguments. Every child is going to be rebellious at some point.
I would always call it, as a parent, I would call it pushing the envelope.
Well, every teenager pushes boundaries.
Yeah.
That's a part of how you learn what's acceptable and what's not.
Yeah.
You've developed your own belief system based on your actions and your own consequences.
Okay.
So those things, just in general, doesn't mean somebody has ODD, because these are natural developments during childhood and adolescence, is to push boundaries and figure out, okay, what's too far, where do I need to stay in lines? You know what I mean? What separates ODD from these typical behaviors of children and adolescents is its intensity, consistency, and impairment.
And when you say, what do you mean by impairment?
So the behaviors create serious problems at home, school, and socially with other people.
Okay.
And because of this intense reactionary behavior, it's hard to connect with other people. It's hard to function in school. It's hard to hold a job, if you're an adolescent or young adult. So, and Matt, I'm going to go back, because again, I want to address this, because people would say, oh, back in my day, this is just a kid being a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what the perception is. That is just an unruly child.
Yeah, like
they're throwing unruly teenager.
They're throwing light sticks across a lobby at a venue, right?
Knocking my drinks over. Yeah. So let's go back first of all and talk about the history of the diagnosis, because just like everything else, 100 years ago, we didn't have diagnoses.
No,
we didn't have a DSM manual. We didn't have ways to classify mental illness.
Is there a specific individual?
Now we do.
Is there a specific individual who came up with the diagnosis of ODD?
Not specifically an individual.
Okay.
So the concept behind ODD has existed for decades. Though in the early days of psychiatry, like before the 60s and 70s, children showing chronic defiance were often described as delinquents, problem children, incorrigible, or behaviorally disturbed.
You're a jet.
So mental health professionals recognize that some of these kids and some of these adolescents had a persistent pattern of emotional dysregulation. And that's the key thing here.
Okay.
And defiance is not the issue. It's the emotional dysregulation that's the issue. And the defiance couldn't just simply be explained as kids being kids, because there's a lot more emotional issues with this. So the ODD officially appeared in the DSM for the first time in 1980.
Was that DSM-2?
DSM-3.
DSM-3.
In 1980.
Wow.
Yep.
There's only been okay, we're on DSM-5
Yep,
now.
we're in DSM. So there was a DSM-3, DSM-4 came out in the early 90s, and the DSM-4 Plus came out in I'm guessing on the dates.
That's okay.
Don't hold me to that, but probably the early 2000s.
And then DSM-5.
And then DSM-5 is the most recent iteration, which has been probably the last 10 years or so.
So before COVID.
Yes.
The
DSM-5 was before COVID.
And it's going to get updated again.
Yes. So the ODD officially appeared for the first time in 1980. At that time, it was categorized as a disruptive behavior disorder alongside conduct disorder. The distinction mattered. Conduct disorder involves more severe violations of rights and rules, such as cruelty, theft, or serious criminal behavior. So that would be conduct disorder. So conduct disorder, you can see it as being a lot more serious, a lot more like somebody's stealing crap out of your car and throwing it in a dumpster, going back to our winner of the week.
You're stealing a bag of chips from the grocery store, right?
Again, things that we would see as that's just not good conduct. So that is not ODD. ODD is recognized as less severe, but it's still a clinically significant condition that causes conflict with authority figures, friends, and workmates, whatever your environment is.
I'm having PTSD a little bit of, being spanked as a child, right?
Yeah.
And that's that ODD, I pushed a boundary.
Right. But in your case, you probably weren't ODD. I don't think you would have met the criteria for that.
No, but I'm just saying that's kind of where my brain is going.
Right.
Is like, we got spanked as kids.
Sure.
We got whipped as kids. Right.
Yep.
And that's how we were raised.
Right.
In this day and age, and the diagnosis came out in the 80s.
Yes.
I was an 80s child. And
yeah.
You know,
and here's the thing to think, and I know, Matt, again, and that's why we do this great,
you know,
because you can be raised perfectly by loving, supportive parents and still have ODD.
I was raised by two parents who were divorced, and I loved them tremendously as an adult man. As a child, I didn't know which end was up.
Well, no. And most children don't. That's kind of the point. Yeah. And that's why ODD is easily dismissed, because in general, people would look at it and say, oh, your kid's being an asshole. Just beat his ass.
It sounds
or put some rules in place or put some structure. But it's not that easy, because,
and I'm not poo-pooing the diagnosis,
right,
but it's almost like it's a suggestion, not a diagnosis.
It's definitely a diagnosis, because And again, I can self-disclose a little bit, because my son has ODD.
Okay.
My son, and again, based on because I'm a clinician and I've experienced this over the years.
Mm-hmm.
The big issue with ODD is not that somebody's trying to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they don't have the emotional intelligence or the emotional experience to respond to challenges.
The regulation?
Yes, the dysregulation. And that really is what drives ODD.
Okay.
It's just this feeling of overwhelm with emotion, and then you react and you lash out because you don't know what to do with it.
All right.
So it's not this like, as opposed to conduct disorder, which can be planned and measured, and somebody's thinking about it ahead of time. Criminals think about their crimes.
Oh, it's premeditated.
It's premeditated. Yeah. ODD is not. It's simply emotional reactions to situations that you cannot manage.
Okay.
So oftentimes, again, researchers in the past discovered that ODD isn't simply bad behavior. It often involved emotional regulations, which we mentioned, executive functioning deficits. Again, that's your higher brain functions that most typical humans would have.
There's a medication out for that. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Robin Williams actually called it out. He called it "fuck it all."
Yeah. Family stress, experiences of trauma, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and other neurodevelopment issues could contribute to ODD.
Not neurodivergent.
Not neurodivergent.
Okay.
Neurodevelopment differences. So really, today, ODD is understood as a multifactorial disorder. It's not just defiance. It's genetics, it's temperament, it's environment, it's parenting patterns, it's stress and brain development.
Got it.
All of those things combine to make this perfect storm of what we call ODD.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank you for explaining it, because as a layman, as someone looking in from the outside, I'm always asking the question, what and why and how?
Well, and here's the thing, and this is just human nature, and I can include myself in this, Matt. You know, when you're out in public and you see a kid just flipping out, you're like, oh Christ, get that kid, but beat that kid's ass, shut him up.
But you don't know what transpired.
Well, no,
to make that happen.
That's kind of my point. Yeah, that's kind of the point. We see behaviors and we judge them based on the behaviors themselves without knowing what the underlying issues are.
Right.
Yeah. And that's, again, that's just human nature. We just do that.
Because everyone makes an ass out of you and me. They assume.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So you're asking, who does this affect? That's a great question.
That is a good question.
What's the most common population that gets diagnosed with ODD?
And I'll take a wild stab in the dark.
Okay.
And it's got to be anywhere from the ages of 4 to 25.
Okay.
And that's where that diagnosis lies mostly.
Okay.
That's my guess.
In younger children, we're talking ages 10 or less.
Okay.
Boys are diagnosed more frequently than girls.
Really?
However, by adolescence, those rates equal out.
Really?
Yeah.
Because girls mature faster than
girls.
boys.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Really?
So females with ODD, and here's where some differences come out. Females with OCD may display verbal ODD. Sorry,
yes,
ODD.
yes,
You're right. I'm so used to saying OCD when I talk. Yes, ODD. Girls with ODD may display verbal aggression, emotional outbursts, and relation conflict, while boys may show more overt defiance and physical aggression.
You know what you just said, and I'm gonna simplify what you just
Please
said.
do. Yep.
I just heard the word hormones.
Yes.
That's all I heard you say.
Yep.
Is hormones.
Uh-huh.
Because they're teenagers.
Right.
And they're girls and they're young boys. That's hormones.
Yep.
Because they're developing. They're trying to figure out where they fit.
I mean, a lot of that is natural, your natural progression through life.
Okay.
These are outliers. So let's take your typical teenager. Yeah, they're lazy, they're bums, they're not motivated, they just sit in their room all day. Okay, that's a typical teenager. But a teenager with ODD is probably having more aggressive behaviors like breaking things or punching walls or having angry outbursts or in everything is a meltdown. Like there's no, again, we go back to the emotional regulation. That is really the key aspect of this diagnosis. So yes, in general, boys are diagnosed more early in life, and by adolescence, it equals out between males, females.
Gotcha.
Now, the symptomology can differ a little bit. Females tend to, these are generalizations, they're exceptions to everything. Females with ODD tend to self-harm. And that's another thing with ODD.
Cutting.
Is self-harm. So females, especially adolescents, are more apt to self-harm with cutting. Boys with ODD are more likely to break things or lash out externally. Like punching walls or your TV or breaking a remote control or hitting themselves.
Hitting themselves.
Yes.
Hurting animals.
Yes. Well, no.
Is that different?
That is different.
Okay.
Because then we're getting into more like personality disorders and very psychotic type behaviors.
And I said that for a reason.
But that's important, Matt. I'm glad you brought that up because there is a distinction. A lot of these kids, I say kids, adolescents or kids who are experiencing ODD, they don't want to hurt anyone. That's not their intention.
I said that for a reason.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that you picked up on that because I was going to say, no, wait a minute.
Yep.
Right.
No. And you're absolutely right. In fact, again, I can speak with from personal experience with a son who has ODD. I've never worried about our dog. He's never lashed out at a person or a living thing.
I've met your son. He is a very gentle soul.
He is. He is a gentle soul.
Yeah.
He is. Yes. Yes. But when that emotion overwhelms him, it just becomes unmanageable. And they become these breakdowns with punching himself or punching walls and it's frustrating to watch because your initial reaction is knock it off. That's your initial reaction because you're just seeing and experiencing something that is not pleasant. It does not fun to see. So yes, I think that's a lot of the reason, and we're going to get into treatments in a little bit, but just to plug this in really quick, I think that's a reason a lot of kids don't get treatment for this because parents are just like, they're just being rebellious or they're just being kids. Right. They're not realizing the depth of the emotional issues that are going on.
Right. Because one, we don't understand the human brain at all.
Well, relatively speaking, right. You're right.
And we don't know what we don't know. If someone is acting, has a behavior that you don't understand, that's part of development.
Sure.
And that's part of, and as the person who's looking outside in, as the parent watching a child, act out in this regard, you have to want to understand the underlying reason. And that's where,
ideally you would want. Yes.
You would want. And that's where that's where we want to strive for as human beings, as a human race, is to understand, okay, why are they doing that? How, where's the trigger?
Yes. And that's the key thing, finding the source. And often the source, we don't know what the source is. And that's kind of the frustrating thing.
Oh, I made him get up at 6 a.m. for school.
But see, but that one single thing is not the source. The source is the emotional regulation or dysregulation. That's the source. So we are going to come back, folks, with a part 2. And we always break these up into part 2 because I have so much information and I want to make sure you get all of it. So we're going to come back with episode 2.
I can almost see a part 3, and I'm just
We
gonna
could.
I'm going to throw that out there.
No, and by all means, here's the thing. Sometimes we do a single episode, not often.
Nope.
Sometimes we do 2 episodes, but sometimes it may take 3 or 4 to get all the information we need. So we're open. Like we never hardline say that's it, we're done. But we'll take as many episodes as we can to get you the information you need. That's the big thing.
Yes, please.
All right. So we're going to come back with ODD, Oppositional Defiant Disorder, Part 2, coming up next. If you're on Facebook Live, stick around. We're doing another episode. Those of you on whatever platform you're on, skip ahead to the next episode, or it will be available on Tuesday or Thursday if you don't see it immediately.
Perfect.
Before we leave, so Matt, we've had a challenge, and I don't know. I actually tried calling Detroit Dog Rescue today.
Okay.
No answer. I've not been able to access their website in a week.
Are they updating it?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I'm just getting
Static?
site not found. So I'm not sure, but we do have somebody who needs a home from Taylor's Taylor's Dog Rescue Animal Shelter.
And where's Taylor's Dog Rescue out of?
I don't know the address specifically. It's in Taylor, Michigan.
It's in Taylor, Michigan.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
I
in
need.
Taylor, Michigan.
Yeah.
So
who is it?
Cherry needs a home.
I thought that said Chernobyl for a second, but
and I've never heard of this breed, blackmouth cur. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know if it's a pirate thing or
blackmouth cur / American Staffordshire Terrier.
What does this puppy look like?
It's female. She'll be 60 pounds grown. Here's Cherry.
Oh, she's got a little pity in her. That's a little pity mix.
It says again, blackmouth cur, American Staffordshire Terrier.
Yeah. Okay, based on the picture. I'm pretty good with that. In my own opinion, she's a little bit of a pity mix, but she's beautiful.
Yeah. Is that for a pit?
For pit, yeah.
Oh yeah, Jamie's talking to us off mic. Yeah. Okay, it's a little less offensive, so to speak. Yeah,
okay.
Right.
I see it.
So anyway,
Yucker.
Cherry needs a home.
All right.
Go to TaylorAnimalShelter.com.
She's beautiful.
She's a beautiful dog.
Yes.
And she's been there about 2 months, so she needs a home. She needs a forever home. So Cherry at TaylorAnimalShelter.com.
Thank you.
Awesome. All righty, folks, that is our show for today. Again, Facebook Live people, stick around. Everybody else, jump ahead to the next episode. Change your thinking, change your life, laugh hard, run fast, be kind. We'll see you next time.
Ready?
Ready.
All right. Ooh, wait. Hold on.
In this episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast, we are back. We're talking about oppositional defiant disorder, commonly known as ODD. This is part 2. If you've not listened to part 1, you can jump back, listen to that, and be caught up. Or you can listen to it after we're done here. You'll still get all the information. It's all there. And also, we're giving away free stuff. Hang in there, folks. We'll be right back.
This sounds like something for the authorities in Detroit.
Well, joke's on you. I'm living to 102 and then dying, like the city of Detroit.
Guys like this antique over here out of Detroit.
Spawned in the hellfires of Motown. Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
Stationed in Drambuie, it's worse than Detroit.
We did not have, as a unit, the confidence that we felt like we needed to beat Detroit.
Let's go to Detroit. Now you're talking, brother.
I don't think so. He plays for Detroit now.
Do they have many farms in Detroit?
Detroit. It's in Michigan.
I go to school. I know where Detroit is.
Get ready for the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright, originating from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. He has hypnotized thousands of people from all over the United States. David R. Wright has been featured on news outlets all across the country and is the clinical director of an outpatient mental health and hypnosis clinic located just south of Detroit, where he helps people daily using the power of hypnosis. the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright.
What is going on, my friends? It is David Wright, the Motor City Hypnotist. We are back with another episode of the Motor City Hypnotist podcast. We're here. That is Matt Fox, the other voice you hear.
Oh, there you are.
We're hanging
how
out
you
here,
doing?
having a drink or two, and enjoying a podcast. We're here
Yes, we are.
in the palatial Podcast Your Voice Southfield Studios,
Oh,
hanging
man.
out, doing a podcast, just having fun.
I have to ask you, how was your weekend for Mother's Day, David?
It was good. I golfed on Sunday morning. Kendra and I went out, did our first round of the season. It was okay. It was okay. Yeah, a little bit. Sorry. We have our mic is out. We have the table mic, not the boom mic. So I gotta stay a little bit back. I'm a little.
You just
extreme in the
love being up
volume.
on that
Yes,
microphone. Yeah.
Well, because I'm used to that one. You can stay right up on the mic.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so
Gotcha.
So yeah, we went out golfing yesterday morning. Had a great time. I mean, didn't golf great. It's first round of the season though, so I'll give it that. I will say though, not to brag, but I only sliced one out of play on a drive. I had 4 drives that were these perfect draws right in the middle of the fairway, and that's keep my fingers crossed that continues.
So those that are watching on the video,
yeah,
you've got a big
bandage. I do have a bandage on my
your
hand,
left hand.
Those of you watching on Facebook Live.
So was it a really tough golf shot?
No, this did not happen from golf. So it's Mother's Day. So I take Kendra out golfing. We do our thing. We get back, and she goes, "I'd like fillets for dinner." I'm like, "Perfect. I'll run out." Went to the market, got some fillets, got some stuff for dinner, some asparagus, some hollandaise sauce, some baked potatoes,
a paycheck on meat,
$100.
Okay, yeah, I believe
it was just for the meat, $72 for 4 fillets.
See, yeah,
that's
a
crazy.
paycheck.
I know. So I'm making the fillets on my cast iron skillet, which I use all the time. I love cooking with it. Stupid me. I just grabbed the handle to move it, not even thinking. And of course, if you guys know what a cast iron skillet, the whole skillet is flaming hot. I mean, you crank that heat up to get it as hot as you can get it
because it has to cook.
And I grabbed that handle and I pulled it away immediately, but it was too late. So anyway, I ended up having a trip to the ER for Mother's Day last night. Luckily, knock on wood, it was mostly 1 degree. There was just an area where it was 2 degree, which will blister. And that's right down here in this palm area. So
it's all, 2nd degree is okay. There's no scarring.
Yep, no scarring. The blister will pop and drain and hopefully heal. But I have antibiotic cream that I'm putting on it, and they say keep it wrapped for a few days. And honestly, today I'm having no pain today.
Good.
So that's a good sign. So thank you for the concern, and I appreciate it.
I saw that and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh no,
I know
his golf game is fucked.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay for this weekend because I have a big outing this weekend with my buddy Scott, who I've been friends with for like 30 years.
You better keep it wrapped. That's all I'm saying.
And we do an event 4 times a season. It's the first time I've been involved in this, but each event, there's 8 guys. Each event, you have a match play for the first 9 and a skins game on the back 9.
You take your shirts off and everything.
Yeah, I know I'm not doing that. It might not be warm enough. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I'll be okay for golf this weekend.
Perfect. So
yeah,
I wanted to share with you that not this past weekend, not Mother's Day weekend. We had a great weekend, kids, and there was junior prom involved.
Oh, nice.
A couple of times out. We had a dinner at Holly's mother's, and it was a nice time.
Yeah.
And then the water main broke in the town. We spent the day boiling water. It was fine.
Yeah.
And we're working through it.
Right.
The weekend before, we made a trip out to Washington.
Yes,
DC,
I remember that. Yeah.
And we went to the botanical gardens out there. It's beautiful. I got a lot of great pictures of flowers.
Nice.
And plants.
Yes.
And tequila plants.
Oh, nice.
I mean agaves.
Agaves, yes.
Tequila. I call them tequila plants. But the one of the things that we did, we had breakfast with my stepfather's brother. And on a Saturday morning, and he's a super nice guy. He's quiet, he's very reserved, and he does pretty well. And we're walking out after breakfast to the to our cars and to go to the botanical gardens, and he was going off in his own way. And he looked at us and he goes, "Do you know what the difference is between porcupines and BMWs?"
I don't know.
The pricks are on the inside. As he gets into his BMW.
Like this in the background. What the fuck is it with you?
It was the funniest damn thing.
Funny.
And he's such a good guy.
Good for you.
And I look forward to possibly seeing him in Michigan in August.
Oh, nice.
When he's out here for work.
You might have another good joke.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe, but
That's
it
awesome.
was just really funny. And I had to get that off my chest because it has stuck with me, because a BMW is one of those cars that people look for, and it's a status symbol.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I'm rich.
Oh no, it's not rich. It's just a status symbol. But
yeah.
it was just a really funny joke, and I had to share that.
Yeah.
With you.
Oh, that's awesome.
And but yeah, the whole weekend, I saw my mother.
Nice.
Pre-Mother's Day.
Mhm.
And, just had a really good time. Got to put eyes on her and my stepfather.
Nice.
We just had a really good weekend. We saw a really interesting play in Baltimore, and
Mhm.
it was just it was a weekend.
Nice.
It was an adult weekend. We
Yeah.
got out and we had a good time.
Nice. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Nice Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So let me tell you folks first where you can find me. My website, motorcityhypnotist.com. Grad season is upon us. First show is this coming Saturday in Grand Blanc, Michigan. If you're still in need of entertainment for your grad night, now's the time. motorcityhypnotist.com/shows. You can have a quote within minutes and book within minutes as well. My social media links, Facebook, YouTube, are Motor City Hypnotist, and Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok are all Motor City Hypno, HYPNO.
Yes.
And as we've done every episode going back to number 1, text the word hypnosis to 313-800-8510. Within a few moments, you will get a text with a PDF written by me. It's a hypnosis guide. It's downloadable, yours to keep for free. It will also give you a link to my Google business page. And I would appreciate it very much if you could just leave a review there as far as the podcast, or if you've seen a show, or if you've seen me individually for hypnosis or therapy sessions.
Leave a review.
Yes, review is fantastic. And again, as far as reviews go, whatever platform you're on, wherever you're getting the podcast, leave a review there as well, because it just helps us get out to more people and grow the show.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. It is time, Matt.
Here we go.
That's how winning is done.
All righty.
Who is it?
Okay. We do this, and I've said it probably 1,000 times, but I always gravitate to animal stories just because I love animals. So this is one of those stories. Some rescue dog transformations are so profound that they restore your faith in second chances.
Rescue dog transformations.
Dobby's journey from squalor to a new family home is one of these stories.
My hand is all the way up.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to get to it because it's Dobby. Yes.
Yes.
I know your question.
Okay.
Why is his name Dobby?
Because that's what he looks like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're going to get there. Don't worry.
All right.
When Humane World for Animals and the Runnels County Sheriff's Office arrived at a property in Ballinger, Texas, they found a heartbreaking scene. The air was thick with nonstop barking and the smell of feces and urine.
Oh.
So it's one of these situations,
these
animal hoarders, unfortunately. Among the many dogs inside, rescuers discovered a young pup that was completely hairless and crouched inside of a kitchen cabinet.
Oh my God.
And they gave her a fitting nickname, Dobby, for the Harry Potter house elf that was not allowed clothes. And I'll just show you the picture of Dobby, and you can see why they called him Dobby.
Oh man. Masters had given me a sock. Master has given me clothes.
Yeah.
Dobby is free.
There's Dobby.
Sorry.
No, it's so fitting. In total, the team rescued over 70 animals from the property.
Holy shit.
I know, including chickens, ducks, geese, and a cat.
What the actual F, man?
Each being given a chance at a better life.
Okay.
Dobby woke up the next morning in a clean and safe environment.
Good.
Her healing journey already underway.
Perfect.
Friendly with responders, she wagged her tail as she accepted gentle affection along with treatment for her mange, which most of the animals also required.
Yeah.
Haley, a graphic designer for Humane World, soon heard Dobby's story. The little hairless pup tugged at her heartstrings, and she drove 2 hours to meet her.
Good.
I often joke that at some point while working at Humane World, I would likely fall in love with a pup and want to rescue one, Haley said. The connection was immediate, and Haley knew they were meant to be best friends. After bringing her home, Haley renamed her Misty to give her a fresh start and leave her painful past behind. That first night, Misty surprised everyone by prancing with joy around the house and quickly bonding with Haley's other dog, Oswald.
Sweet.
The two have now become inseparable friends.
I love this.
She began eating like a normal puppy, gaining weight, and where there had been only bare, irritated skin was now soft fur as her coat began growing in.
Do we have an updated picture of Dobby?
We do. I'll show you that in just a second.
Okay, good.
It takes a village to help animals like Dobby. Misty's transformation was incredible. The trembling, hairless dog from the kitchen cabinet became a confident, playful pup who knew she was loved. Shelters always need families willing to provide homes for animals who have been experienced neglect or abandonment, with each adoption creating space for another animal in need. Volunteering at local shelters, for instance, walking dogs or assisting with events or helping with administrative tasks, all support rescue efforts.
Nice.
Even a few hours a month can have a meaningful impact.
Okay.
So there is a picture of Dobby. A little bit later, you can see in that picture on the left with her new owner holding her.
All right. She's got a lot of hair.
Yep, the hair's coming back.
Oh, and the dog too.
Yeah. So that's kind of it's an after and before. It's not in the right order,
No,
but
it's see Dobby on the left-hand side of that picture, those that are watching on the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
You know, she's engaged. She's looking at the camera.
And the Dobby in the cabinet is just broken. Yes, you can see it. You can just look at the difference in the eyes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, great story. Again, definitely winner of the week material.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
That's how winning is done.
I have one more picture of Dobby. Oh, hold on.
Oh, look, see,
there it is. There's an after picture in her new home, Misty, as she's now called.
Love this. Yeah.
Just loving life.
You shall not hurt Harry Potter.
You know, it's funny, Matt. You bring up. I'm not like a huge Harry Potter nut or a fan, but I've watched the movies. I don't know why. When Dobby died, that really broke me up.
Did it really?
Yes, for some weird reason. I'm like, I haven't read these books. I don't love. I mean, I don't love it. It's entertaining, but
the books got more into the story of the house elves and what have you, and what they did for Gryffindor, or for the castle itself, with the preparations of food and what have you. But the movie portrayed one house or a couple of different house elves.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But other than that, Dobby was the main feature of the stories. Yes. Yes. Dobby.
So we're here, folks. Oh, wait.
What are we doing?
Did we do?
No, we didn't do
not that one. No, sorry.
Turn your computer down.
Hold on. I got it.
There you go.
I got it. Wrong button.
Wait, we'll just do it. So
back to it.
So
we're talking about ODD. This is part 2. In the first one, we talked about really what ODD is and really the populations it affects the most, which in general are children and adolescents.
Sure.
So we're going to talk a little bit more as far as percentages, like what are the percentages of this diagnosis?
And I had given you my prediction. It would have been the ages from 4 to the ages of 25 for the diagnoses of ages.
Right. Now, ODD, it can be diagnosed at any age, but honestly, but the most you see it mostly with children from like 7 to 12, and then adolescents up through age 20.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So the question now, like who tends to develop ODD and why? Like how does it happen? So research has shown that ODD affects approximately 3 to 10% of children. Think about that. 1 in 10 children are affected with ODD.
No, you said 3 to
10%. So on the high side, that's 1 in 10 kids.
That's 3 in 10, isn't it?
3 to 10%.
Oh, 3 to 10. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yeah. 3 to 10%. So on the high side, it's 1 out of every 10.
Got it.
The disorder is typically diagnosed in preschool, in elementary, or early adolescence.
And there's a severity to that, isn't there?
Yes, with ODD, for sure.
Yeah.
Like a severity of symptoms?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So gender differences. In younger children, boys are diagnosed more frequently than girls. By adolescence, the rates become more equal. We mentioned that last time. So what are the risk factors of ODD? Is there something that causes this? Is there something that kind of sets this off? So here's the several risk factors that can contribute to ODD.
Okay.
One is ADHD. This is one of the strongest correlations with ODD diagnosis, that a majority are also diagnosed with ADHD.
Is that because they have a certain routine that they have to stick to, and if that gets broken?
A lot of that happens, yes.
Okay.
So impulsivity and emotional dysregulation often overlap if somebody has ADHD and ODD. And you're right, Matt, with ADHD, it's an inability to focus. You feel like you're always behind. You can't pay attention to things, and that may lead to these emotional reactions that I can't do life. I can't function. I can't stay focused on things.
Yeah. ADHD and OCD is a big proponent of ODD,
right?
And those symptoms, if you will.
Yes.
Okay.
The other big risk factor is trauma and adverse childhood experiences. So abuse, neglect, domestic violence, parental substance abuse, or family instability, divorce, parents moving in and out. Those kind of things have a big effect because, and the reason being is that defiance becomes a coping mechanism or a survival strategy if you're growing up in a volatile household.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
They need to find their space, or find their spot within that household.
Yep.
And if they're being ignored, or if mom and dad are arguing and they're doing their own things and blah, 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 blah. And they have like, okay, I need to have a voice, and this is the only way I know how to do it.
And let's delve a little bit deeper into family stress, high conflict households, inconsistent discipline, chronic stress. These are all contributors to having an ODD diagnosis.
Inconsistent discipline kind of intrigues me because you do something wrong, you get disciplined. A week later, you do the same thing, and there's no repercussion.
Yes. And many parents are probably guilty of inconsistent discipline. Now, that doesn't mean just because that's happening, you're going to have an ODD kid.
No.
But it can be a contributing factor. And that's the big thing that we have to look at is that, okay, as a parent, once your kid has ODD as a parent, it's best to get professional help. But as small children, you need to have a consistent structure as far as what the expectations are, what discipline happens when you do something.
Sure.
And here's the thing that's often, and I see it a lot, and again, all of us parents are probably guilty of this. We become reactionary. So one day your kid might break a vase and you're like, oh, it's an accident, it's okay. The next day the kid breaks a vase and it's like, you're grounded for a week. And it's not
within a day.
I'm just kind of throwing out a random example, but I mean, it could be a week, it could be a month.
It depends on where the vase came from.
Mom always said, don't play ball in the house.
Right. You know what? Dad got her that vase last year for Mother's Day with flowers. No big deal. That vase came from grandma, and she'd been gone for a while, and that was an heirloom.
It's more value. Yes. There's some more emotional connection to that. The other thing, again, and this plays in big, is anybody who's on the autism spectrum is more likely to have ODD.
Agreed.
Learning disabilities, sensory processing difficulties, executive functioning deficits, these all are prime issues with ODD as it is with autism. And again, people who are diagnosed with autism typically struggle with frustration tolerance and emotional control. And that just kind of just feeds into that ODD. So again, we've talked about it. We've answered questions about it. Let me make it. Let me give you some examples, what it looks like in real life.
Okay.
What does ODD look like
Yeah,
if you have a kid or a teenager? Imagine a child who refuses every request, argues constantly, explodes emotionally, blames everyone else, and turns everyday routines into battles.
Okay.
That's a list of symptoms. Parents become exhausted. That happens.
Dad becomes bald.
Teachers may interpret it as just rebellion or manipulative or intentional disruption. But underneath this behavior, we have to look at what's causing this. Frustration, shame, emotional overwhelm, anxiety, or feeling chronically misunderstood.
You know, the chronically misunderstood is probably the most part of all of that.
I think the emotional overwhelm is I mean, and I'm not weighing these, but that's a big one. It's just, you don't know how to process emotion.
You don't know how to express yourself.
Yes.
You know,
right.
In the English language, you might be you might be a genius, but you can't verbalize what you're feeling.
Exactly.
And that's the most frustrating part for a teenager, is that they have these feelings, these emotions, but they don't have the vernacular to say, I'm feeling X, Y, Z.
Absolutely. Yep. And because there's no emotional regulation, there's typically no emotional intelligence. Yes, they're feeling something, but they don't know how to even express it. They don't even know how to say it.
Right.
So here's the thing. I listed all of these things, and it doesn't excuse behavior. And that's not the point of this. Behavior should never just be excused, but understanding the root causes changes how you approach this person.
Right.
Punishment alone rarely
it doesn't work.
Is positive. In fact, excessive punishment often escalates ODD behaviors because the person then feels even more unheard and more misunderstood.
And we've been saying ODD for a while. What does ODD stand for?
Oppositional defiant disorder.
Defiant disorder.
Yep.
It escalates. It takes it to the next level up. They become more defiant if you continue to punish inappropriately. Is that an inappropriate?
Yeah, no. In fact, we're going to get into that, Matt.
Okay.
That was a perfect thing, because as a parent with a kid who has ODD, oftentimes you're at a loss. What do I do? I don't know how to manage this. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
So here's some of the things that parents should learn,
please,
to manage their child who has ODD, or even a family member, because they could be adults in certain situations.
And we talked about ages from, you said 8 to 20.
Yeah.
Right. But there is a part of
and it can't exist outside of those ages.
Absolutely.
That's just the common times that it's diagnosed.
Right.
So parents need to learn, these are the things that parents can do. Consistent discipline. Now, that doesn't mean going off the deep end as far as it just has to be consistent. And in fact, I tell parents, if your child does something wrong, they need to know what the consequence is. You can't just react and say, and I brought up this example last episode, I think, or maybe this episode, we're talking about the vase. Kid breaks a vase. One day it's fine. The next day you beat the kid into oblivion. Right. So there has to be consistent discipline, and
not just discipline, consequences.
Correct. Consistent discipline and consequences.
Thank you.
That's better. Talking to parents about emotional regulation strategies, how to help your child feel and talk about these emotions in a safer environment. Positive reinforcement. When the kid does something good. And here's the problem with ODD kids, parents, they often don't react unless there's a behavior, unless there's a negative behavior. That's what gets your attention, because a kid is screaming and punching himself. You're going to react. When the kid does something good, that reaction is sometimes not there.
Yeah.
You don't reinforce the good stuff. And as parents, also how to reduce this power struggle. This because here's the thing: you're never going to win the power struggle with an ODD person.
Really,
it's not. You're not going to because in their head they're just expressing emotion.
Right.
There's no right or wrong to that.
You just have to be a Jedi and take the high ground.
Well, not necessarily, but instead of constant punishment, here are the things that you can do.
Okay.
Structure, which we talked about, consistent discipline, predictability, again, setting up situations where the kid or the adolescent knows what to expect. And again, strengthening positive behaviors. So there are programs and there are a lot of different programs out there online. And I'm going to list these. I haven't looked through them, so I can't say I recommend them, but there are a lot of resources online for parents who have an ODD child.
Are breathing techniques a part
of that could be part of it. But here's the thing. A lot of times with ODD, the challenge is once they're in that emotional state, there's no reason. There's no logic.
It's tough to come back from.
So these conversations need to be had when your child is in a lucid state and calm, because that's when they can better understand. They're not going to hear anything when they're in that emotional heightened state.
Do you remember when do you remember that time when you you become Chris Farley in SNL and you're talking to your kid about something that happened a couple of days ago, because now they're in that lucid state and you have to have that calm conversation about how their behavior affected an environment that was happening at the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember that time when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, the approaches as far as a child or adolescent or even an adult, the things that we want to address is in therapy. And again, if your child or your adolescent or an adult has ODD, they should probably be seeking therapy.
Yeah.
But cognitive behavioral therapy helps with identifying emotions, managing anger, improving or increasing a frustration tolerance, and developing problem-solving skills.
Sure.
Now, you would think these are things that just children learn, but with ODD, it doesn't always happen that way.
And that actually helps to when you have those when you call it out, when you have those calm conversations after the fact, that actually helps their emotional intelligence in the future.
It's the big thing that you need to convey. And here's kind of the side effect that comes along with ODD, that a lot of these clients, whether they're kids or adolescents, probably more into adolescents because they have their brains a little bit more developed. It ends up being this vicious cycle of blow up, feel guilty, hate yourself, blow up, feel guilty, hate yourself. It's the cycle. And believe me, these people suffering from ODD, they don't want to exhibit these behaviors.
You got to break that cycle.
It's not their intent. It feels worse for them than for anyone else. So just approaching it that quit being an a-hole, that you're not addressing the emotional need that's there.
It's more of, I hear you, I understand where you're coming from. Let's take a second.
Let's figure out how you can manage when you feel this.
Let's take a second. Let's go our own ways. Let's have some quiet time, no matter what the age there are.
The other thing that I would recommend very strongly is family therapy with the client who suffers from ODD, the parents, even siblings, because it's a household. It's an ecosystem. So everybody has to be on the same page. Family therapy can help reduce conflict, improve communication, establish boundaries, and the most important thing is rebuilding trust. So that this person can come to you when they need to.
So they're comfortable enough to know that you're there for them and you're not going to react. You're not going to be so reactionary because you're just being an a-hole. That you're being reactionary. You need to get to, as a individual that has someone in that household that has ODD, you have to learn to regulate yourself first.
Oh, sure. And as a parent, that's really difficult. Now, and I'm talking from personal experience here, because I want to be transparent and honest with you. My son, who has ODD, many times when he's had these behaviors, I've lost my shit because I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm emotionally drained.
You're a parent.
Right.
And you're not, no one's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
But we all have to, but the fact that you're an individual that recognizes, yes, I overreacted. There's a lot of people out there that won't even accept that they overreacted.
Well, and the big thing, and I say this to parents all the time, parents make mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
No.
We're going to make mistakes. The best thing you can do is acknowledge it to the person you made the mistake with.
Dear Theodosia.
Any time I've lost my shit with my wife or with my son, every time after the fact, I've said, I was out of line. I apologize. I'll try to understand better. Yeah. You have to have that debrief, because that shows, one, to them that, okay, yeah, that wasn't pleasant, but he's owning up to it. So, at least he's acknowledging it.
And it's a start of, you're not going to get their trust right away. That's
Right.
a start of rebuilding what trust you did lose.
Well, and the other thing, it sets an example for them.
It does.
Because when you make a mistake and you apologize, then they see, oh, I can apologize if I do something wrong. And it reinforces that approach.
It as in, no one's perfect.
Right.
We all make mistakes. We all act out. It's how we handle ourselves after the fact. When it comes to the ODD side, it's almost as if the person doesn't have the gumption to think first before.
Right. Yes. There's no critical thinking. You're right.
Right.
Yes.
And that's where we want to help them get to, is to understand, before you explode, I want you to just take a deep breath and think about where you are and what's going on. And it's really tough to do with kids that are 8 years old.
No, absolutely.
It's so tough.
No, it is difficult. And as a parent with a child who has ODD, it is difficult. It's a challenge. It is.
And if I may ask, and I kind of want to pry.
You can.
At what age was he diagnosed?
Okay, so technically speaking, he's been seeing a therapist since he was probably 6, 7. Because even as a small child, there were behaviors that were concerning, but not super concerning.
Sure.
So I'll give you an example. Pinewood Derby. He was in Cub Scouts.
Okay.
We did Pinewood Derby every year. I'm not some great carpenter with all these skills. So, but we made his car. We're on the day of Pinewood Derby. His car comes in last place. And he just disappeared emotionally. And when I say that, it's just like, you could see it in his eyes. He wasn't even there.
He was upset.
He was upset. And he was angry, but the way it looked, it's just like he wouldn't answer anybody. He wouldn't talk to anybody. He just was blank. He was just blank.
Okay.
And then later is when the emotional thing came, when he was out of public view. That's when the emotion came.
Okay.
So, but again, as a parent, these are things that happen. You can't guarantee everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty, and that's kind of the thing. Right. So the question becomes, okay, so I have a child or an adolescent or even an adult who I think has ODD. What medication can they take?
See, and as you stated so many times on this show, medication is the last resort.
It is a last resort. It's not an answer. It can be a tool.
It's a tool. It can be a tool.
It can be a tool.
For this type of diagnoses, I can't think of any medication off the top of my head that would be useful unless you are diagnosed with ADHD and what have you.
Well, let me answer that statement, Matt. I can make it very clear. There is no medication specifically approved for ODD.
Thank you. That's why I can't think of anything.
However, medications may help when co-occurring conditions are present, which is often the case.
Right.
So, for example, ADHD. There is Adderall for children. There's Ritalin. There's other non-traditional, non-habit forming medications for ADHD. So that's something you'd have to talk to a psychiatrist about.
Right.
Antidepressants, SSRIs in particular.
And we did an
episode on antidepressants just a few episodes back. So if SSRIs are selective uptake, reuptake inhibitors. So not to get, we did a whole episode on that. Go back and find
go back and listen. Yeah.
But SSRIs help emotional regulation. So that could help. Mood stabilizers or antipsychotics also can be very helpful. Something like Risperdal, Lamictal is a brand name of a common mood stabilizer.
Got it.
And these are typically reserved for behavioral dysregulation.
I'm almost thinking there's an episode 3 on this.
There could be. Yes, because we could be getting into more stuff. Yes, and I think we are going to do an episode 3 because I'm just looking ahead. And there's still stuff I want to share as far as treatment goes and some approaches.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to say this is the end of this episode number 2, but we are going to have oppositional defiant disorder episode 3 coming up next Monday.
Yes. So
just know that we'll get you all the information you need, but I think this is important because I think this is in my personal opinion, this is a very overlooked or ignored diagnosis for many people, and especially for parents.
And I'm glad that you've brought this into your show because I honestly, I've never heard of ODD.
Yep.
And it's kind of eye-opening for me as a parent of 6 children.
Yep.
You know, I've raised amazing kids and I'm helping to raise amazing kids.
Yep.
And ODD is just something I've never heard of.
Yep.
And I kind of going back into my past and going, I should have done more research.
Right.
Because it has been in the DSM since 1980.
Right.
So,
but again, unless you have to face it, unless you have to deal with it, you wouldn't even think of it.
But
it doesn't even come to.
It was probably there, and I had no clue.
Maybe so. You're right.
And I look at my. I go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So no, you're right. Because again, as parents, if you don't have the knowledge, you just think, as I said earlier, the kid's just being an a-hole. Knock it off. But you don't. There could be something much deeper going on there, and you're right about that.
Yeah.
So we are going to come back next week with ODD Part 3.
Love it,
and we'll get you some specifics as far as what treatments are recommended, what types of treatments, and we're going to get into the medication part more in depth also.
Oh, we're going to talk shock therapy? I'm kidding.
I mean, maybe. All right. Before we go.
All right.
Taylor Animal Shelter.
Okay.
I know our typical sponsor, well, not really a sponsor. I just make them our sponsor, Detroit Dog Rescue. For some reason, their site's been down. I don't know what's up, but
we'll figure it out.
But anyway, May needs a home.
And this is at
it's a female
Taylor Animal Rescue.
Yes. This one is a terrier lab mix. Female will be about 60 pounds.
Okay.
But May needs a home.
Look at that face.
I know.
They're laying down in a straitjacket. It's so cute. I'm kidding. She's laying down.
Yeah.
And she's
got her harness on.
Yeah, she's got a harness on, a walking harness. She's adorable.
Yeah, isn't that
I love the black and white.
It's just the face is so striking.
Yeah. She's got very kind and wise eyes.
Yeah.
I got to say. Facebook, Facebook Live folks, they need to stick around for these because
you do. And those of you listening to audio, I mean, we do one of these every week and you never get to see them. So jump onto Facebook Live, Motor City Hypnotist Facebook page. It goes live every week, Mondays right around 8 Eastern Standard Time, give or take.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for dogs.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm a sucker for dogs with kind and wise eyes.
Yeah. So anyway, May needs a home. That would be Taylor Animal Rescue. No, I'm sorry. Taylor. I forgot the name of it already.
Taylor Animal Rescue.
Taylor Animal Shelter.com.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. All right. That is our show, folks. We'll see you next time. Change your thinking, change your life, laugh hard, run fast, be kind. We'll see you next time.